Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Fruits Basket Podcast, the last full actual version of this podcast, I guess, until we do 2001.
Yeah, and I had the podcast audio going, so there's echo, and I was confused.
Yes, makes total sense. So,
Exactly.
We are back for one final show for this iteration of the podcast, talking about everything from season one, most things that we want to talk about from season one, rather. And joined by Rising Sun Reviews, but a special guest.
Yeah, I'm a special guest.
What? No, the other special guest.
Yeah, I'm special.
Yeah.
Oh.
Introduce
Hi.
yourself.
Hey, that's me. I'm Satsuki. I'm glad to be here with my babe. It's been a long time coming, and I finally got let out of the dungeon, so I'm gonna make this opportunity count.
Yeah. So I can talk to Satsuki more than just reading what he says and sending him screenshots of stuff Sia said.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't worry. We snuck all the screenshots into the clips for the video, so make sure to keep an eye out for those.
This is ridiculous.
Exactly.
I wasn't told about this at all. Why is Astro here? Astro, you're gonna get spoiled.
Astro just loves us so much.
So yeah, like I said, this is the show after the show where we're gonna be talking about the show.
Yeah, because we had the whole podcast thing every week, and now we're talking about the whole season and what we think will happen. And we'll talk about what happens next, and then we'll talk about how we're going to do a Fruits Basket and Symphogear Gear crossover.
Right, exactly. And as well, Shadow, if you actually want to be a part of the 2001 podcast, keep them DMs open, my son.
Okay, I see how it is.
So,
actually, I think Shadow's older than you, but never mind.
It works out if time travel and stuff. But anyways, let's talk about Fruits Basket Season 1, but particularly let's talk about what we think will happen in Season 2. So I guess, at the end, we saw Kyo's true form and stuff like that. Where do we think that will go in Season 2? Because we saw in the last episode, it wasn't like a huge thing. Like, they didn't really focus on it that much.
Yeah, like the last episode was more like the resolution to his true form and the reveal for that.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I could see that. It'll definitely come back again, and I'm wondering if he'll somehow use it against Akito and whatever that is, all the strength that it has.
Oh, Akito's true form is that he's just a giant dick.
He kind of already is.
That's... Oh, wait, hold on. I realize what I've just said. I don't mean literally.
I'm getting weird mental pictures.
That would be a thing.
It most definitely would. What do you think, Satsuki?
I think we're going to start going into the main Soma estate more. For example, we'll maybe have Kyo reveal that true form to other Somas, because I'm pretty sure they haven't seen it from him, at least. So I think we'll start going into, seeing the other families and their reactions to Kyo and everyone else.
I wonder if we'll even get it again.
I feel like it's such a big point that it would come up again. It definitely makes me wonder, why does he have a true form and none of the others, it seems?
I think, from, the way I see it in Season 2, we may get it.
Or maybe that would be Season 3.
But I think for sure, I think once... I would think, we haven't seen Season 2 yet, of course.
Yeah, obviously, it's not out yet.
Yeah, we haven't seen any, I haven't read anything, I don't know anything, I don't think any of us do. So, I think, I don't know. I don't know about the true form, if it will show back up or not.
Yeah, I think Satsuki was saying that we'll get more of the Soma estate as a whole. I feel that would definitely make sense. I feel like it'll be more story focused in the future season.
Mm-hmm.
Like this season was so much like set up. Now we have all the characters, we have all the pieces set up. Now it's time for things to go in whatever direction it goes.
Right, right. And I wonder what the ramifications of Toru being hurt by Kyo is as well.
Yeah. Yeah, because it seems like she's pretty much recovered, but that maybe there's like some lingering effect of that.
Yeah. So now I guess we can talk about one of the characters that showed up in the last episode, and that's Rin. I don't know anything about her.
Yeah. Well, she's the daughter of a prominent magical family. She has the gem power. She can shoot those and cause lots of damage. She becomes Archer's master.
And knee socks.
Yes, knee socks, definitely.
Not that Rin.
Oh, I took the notes for the wrong anime then.
What?
You told me to watch Fate Khalid.
MCC Dub Production says season 1 was the introductory season. Season 2 is where the story and romance really begins. Which I think we made that comparison the last couple of podcasts we did, where we made the ReZero comparison.
Oh yeah, because like how the first 3 arcs of ReZero is just like setting stuff up, and then arc 4 it all like goes crazy.
Yeah.
I want ReZero season 2 now.
So, I've seen a lot of people in my Discord server, which you should totally join, and you can. Like, I'm not making you, but you definitely should. I'm making you.
Yes, you should
I'm
join. We post a Fruits Basket podcast at least 3 times a day, or Fruits Basket screenshots.
I think
or podcast sometimes.
From my memory, people said she's a little mischievous, so that's an interesting hint.
Yeah, I've seen something, like I've heard something said, but I don't want to say any spoilers. It sounds like she'll be a really interesting. People are excited to see.
Yeah, I think we have another one, or was Kazuma? What was Kazuma's transformation?
Cosmo didn't have a transformation.
Damn.
Yeah,
so
he wasn't a zodiac animal.
I think we have the rooster and the horse are the 2 that's left.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's basically what I was asking.
Oh, okay.
We already got Arena's best girl comment. I don't know which one, but I'm assuming this one.
Well, of course, because Saber's the best girl in the other one.
Oh, besides Rin, we also got an appearance of Akito in the last episode.
Yeah, we had like Akito like laying on Shigure's lap, which was really weird.
Yeah, it seems Shigure was, I don't know. It definitely seemed like there was more intentions. It felt like Shigure was, I don't know, planning something.
Yeah, it's like Shigure getting to use Akito.
I think we have a confirmation of that, because I think it happened earlier in the series where Shigure said something very foreboding, like he was planning something, like he had it was something like you're gonna get what's like coming to you, Akito, or something like that.
Yeah, we know that Shigure is planning something. We don't know what. But this scene, it looks like specifically like he's going to use Akito in some way to accomplish whatever his goal is.
Right.
Seems like he's trying to use Toru for something. I think that's the reason why he's keeping her around, and he's letting her interact with all the other Somas. And the reason why he brought her to the state, I don't know exactly what for, but it seems like a lot of the adults are using Toru. Like even Kazuma used Toru just to open up Kyo's heart a little.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like everyone is using Toru for stuff that they cannot do.
Francesca said, Shigure said he'd do whatever he could to get his way, even if it hurts others, including Toru.
Yeah. So I wonder, will Shigure be like the final villain of the show?
He'll be the boss. He'll be the big boss. Snake!
And this isn't like a normal action show, but that would really be interesting. Like the character that Toru meets ends up being the villain.
That reminds me of another show, or another webtoon, Satsuki, where they start out a protagonist and end up the antagonist.
Oh, God.
I wonder, that would be pretty interesting if that happened. If like one of the characters starts out like this really, well-minded person, and then, there's an obvious like, oh, Akito's like obviously, a bad person.
Right.
But by the end, Shigure or whoever outbads the bad.
Yeah, or it might be they like justify Akito's actions in a way, and then like they make Shigure being the one who is not justified. And that could really be interesting from Toru's mindset, because like she cares for Shigure quite a lot. I don't know if looks up to him, but she values him.
Also, Shigure likes teenage high schoolers.
Yeah, like there's a lot of reasons like Shigure is not like a moral character.
I don't know.
And he lets his suicidal editor just stay suicidal, 'cause he won't turn anything on time.
Yeah, it's like he's constantly like he doesn't seem to care about anyone, or at least like the characters you would think he was, like the editor. He doesn't care about her. He likes messing her. He likes to push Kyo and Yuki's buttons. So it's like people who you think that he'd be nice to, he's not.
Yeah.
And, like he gave Toru a place to live, but at the same time, it's like he's benefiting from it too by having her around. So it's not like he's being selfless or anything here.
I mean, just going back to that conversation that Kazuma and Shigure had about how they would rather have Kyo stay because Toru is helping change Kyo, which I feel is like I think, there definitely is something there.
Yeah, there is, and especially after what happened.
Right.
So I'm wondering, like, is Shigure's goal a noble one or not?
Now, I also do wonder if Kazuma knew that Kyo would hurt Toru, or would be put in danger by this, but went through it with it anyways, knowing that Toru could be seriously hurt or even killed. I wonder where that would head.
Oh, like if Kyo actually killed her or seriously hurt her?
No. If Kazuma knew, like, all this would happen, like if Kazuma for sure knew that taking off this thing and letting him turn into this monster would actually seriously injure Toru.
Yeah, because he never seemed to like think that was a possibility. Like it was like she might, or they might reject each other, but there was not like a physical sense of danger for Toru from what I saw.
Yeah, I think Kazuma's intentions are a lot more pure. I don't think he has any ulterior motives. He just wanted what he thought was best for Kyo.
Yeah, he wanted what was best, and he took a risk in doing so. But I don't think there's any malice with what he did.
Let's see. Any other predictions you guys have for season 2, or what do you think will be a theme of season 2?
I still think Toru's going to turn into a dragon somehow.
Oh, of course.
We will see how great of a cartwheeler Haru is when he cartwheels in to save the day.
I think the last thing to go over is who's going to end up with who in season 2.
Oh God, the shipping wars.
Yeah,
exactly.
I said it in the podcast for sure. I said it's Toru and Kyo, and I still agree with that. 1,000,000,000%. You can't change my mind. What do you guys think?
Well, I do think. Oh, sorry, Sasuke. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think it's still going to be Yuki and Toru. It just feels like that one was the one set up from day one. It seems like Kyo and Toru, because this happens a lot of time with other anime where you'll have like the favorite ships, but then you'll have the main ship that actually sails. I think is the Kyo and Toru ship is the one everyone wants, but it gets shafted down the line.
Yeah, I I could see that happening because, like, in a lot of romance anime, you'll have the non-real ship that like flesh that one out, make it look like it might happen, but in the end, then they'll go back and focus on the real one. Like in Clannad, how they had like all the other girls' arcs, and then they had the Nagisa one, which was the final one that you knew he was going to be with.
Yeah.
Fuka likes you more than sea slugs now. Jesus Christ! Trying to do a quote, I can't even speak.
Well, I do know what my favorite pairing of the show is.
What is that?
Yuki and Sea Tactics.
Yes.
This is true. It's got to be.
And then Satsuki and Uo.
Yes.
That would make sense.
And then Imoji-san and a giant bunny rabbit.
Imoji-san and a giant bunny rabbit. Who would Rising be paired up with?
Oh dear.
Rising and Hana. I like that shit.
I'm okay with that.
That could work out. I feel like Rising knows some black magic stuff.
I would enjoy learning the wave powers and curses from Hana and her brother.
I could see it.
Megumi, that's what his name is.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
we have Megumi, we have a Kazuma. Do we have Darkness and Aqua?
We need Aqua.
I think we can go without Aqua.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Hana has like the dark power, so it's kind of like Darkness, so we kind of have that. And I agree, we don't need Aqua. So we have the entire Konosuba cast.
Satsuki is getting furious. I remember
I love Aqua.
I remember the first time I told him I didn't like Aqua, he was like, "I will not have this Aqua slander in here." Like, I'm sorry, senpai. Speaking of Uo and Hana, though, let's switch over to our other topics, which is the whole show, everything we liked about it. And I guess we could start off with those Uo and Hana episodes. More specifically,
okay, so I have like 28 pages of notes of what I like, so this could take a while.
Well, all right. What do you, starting off with you, Rising, what do you think about those Uo episodes?
I think the Uo ones are my favorite ones in the show.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah, so good episodes. Uo is a good girl.
What do you think, Satsuki? We don't even have... I think we should start with Satsuki. What do you think about these Uo episodes, actually? Because we never really got your opinions besides in the live chat.
Oh, yeah. Utani is my favorite character. She became my favorite character from episode 1 because I think I like her character type, like the delinquent with the heart of gold. And yeah, and in those episodes that was a lot more fleshed out. We actually got to see her progression towards the character she was from episode 1, because we didn't really understand how her and someone like Toru and someone like Hana became friends. And it was really touching for me to see her want to get out of the gang life that she was in just to be friends with Toru. Yeah. So I really enjoyed those episodes.
Yeah, I like what you're saying there. Like how Uo, a character like her, like how would she and Toru be friends? Like Uo from the start, a very cool character, but you just have no idea like how does this work? And then from that episode, you see now it makes perfect sense.
I think the Uo episodes really show how Toru can be a driving force for change for all these characters. Like, she is the best. You can clearly see it from the start of her character. She was a delinquent, she was in a gang, and then she met Toru, and Toru showed her kindness, and then she got out of the gang, and then dropped doing those, I guess, drugs, although it was kind of subtly mentioned there.
And now she just brings the giants to Metal Pipe to school.
That as well. But I think it's also as well, with that, it shows the impact of Kyoko as well, because Kyoko had a huge impact on Uo's life and her personality and character. I mean, she kind of looks like a long-haired version of Kyoko.
Yeah, and I think something interesting about how Uo and Hana is that we see the effect that Toru and also Kyoko have on a character, like after they've known them for a while, unlike the Somas who we just see like as they meet how they're changed.
Mm-hmm. Right. So I wonder if, you know, in a couple years, Yuki's gonna have like really long hair, gonna carry around a lead pipe.
No, I think Yuki's going to get the wave powers, and Kyo will be the lip pipe.
Kyo does have a he is kind of like a tsundere, so I could see it.
Yeah, and like Yuki has like all his rats he can control, or however that works, and so that's kind of like wave powers because of like dark and spooky, and they're rats.
Dark and spoopy. I mean, I think the Uo episodes are really great for a lot of characters. Even for Kyoko's character. I mean, going back to her, it really like just showed how important she is to so many people, and it shows like Toru kind of like took over Kyoko's place as like the resident nice person.
Yeah, she didn't, and she was like, I think we can see how she's grown since that part, where it's like she's like very naive and still kind of is, though like more like scarred by the world when she lost her mother.
Mm-hmm. I also think it's I mean, just through Toru's birth alone, it changed Kyoko. So Toru, from the moment she was born, was changing people. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's like it shows the impact that Toru has, and like the impact she had on Kyoko, and then Kyoko had this impact back on Toru. So it's just like a cyclic thing, and it branches off and all that.
I like it. Cyclic.
Exactly.
I haven't heard that word mentioned in forever.
I'm glad I can add words to our vocabulary.
What are words?
I don't know. They're like letters and squiggles and stuff, and they mean things.
Oh, like hieroglyphs.
Exactly. We hieroglyphs are magic.
Bird means bird. Circle in a triangle means circle in a triangle. See, I understand.
Exactly.
That means death.
It's like how we understand all the details of Fruits Basket and did not need Francesca to explain any.
Well, I mean, I'm sure we're about to get something wrong. Let's talk about the Hunt episodes as well, which are, I think a lot of people can agree, those are also some of the best episodes of the series as well.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think those episodes kind of showed us like how dark Fruits Basket can get, because that was in those episodes, Hana was scared that she was actually going to kill someone, and we never gone that far into the more darker themes and Fruits Basket. So and seeing her how far the bullies went, because they shoved like a bug down her throat.
Like they make it eat a bug?
Yeah. And then I think like one of the girls were trying to like burn her or something. So
yeah, they did that later on too.
Yeah.
I think at that point that was probably the darkest, at least close to the darkest the show had gotten, because like there had never been like I thought that a character could murder another, and Hana nearly did.
Yeah, I still wonder if Hana would have actually been able to do it. And she wanted like I don't think the series has ever even for the rest of the season, I don't think it ever reached that moment again. Even with episode 24, with that being a sort of, I think it's more of a dramatic episode than it is a dark episode. But I think that's just the darkest the series ever got, because
like
she even said she wanted to kill that kid.
Yeah, and like Kyo lashed out at Toru, but like he did not want to kill her. He wanted to like get her away.
Yeah.
Well, like Hana had murderous intent.
Mm-hmm. It's really incredible, actually. Just that whole episode. I think I brought this up in my review today on my main channel. Plug. Also, Satsuki has a review for it as well. Check it out on Satsuki's channel. This is like one of the first episodes we saw like a father and a mother together. Supporting Hana and telling her that she's all right. Like everything's gonna be okay.
Is she the only character with like a complete family?
I want to say there's another one, but I think the most notable one is definitely her.
Yeah, because well, like Uo has a single dad. Toru had a single mom for a time. Most of the other characters have like parents who do not treat them well, at the least. Like you have Emoji-san, whose mother abandoned him. You have Kisa, who's we don't know if she has a father, but her mother's like overly protective and like it's not a good environment.
Right. Francesco brought it up to me that the show is there's a lot about family, but really it's a lot about mothers, which I found quite interesting.
Yeah, it is because like a lot of what the characters have been through and how they are is because of their mother.
I mean, I think a lot of characters of this show are kind of like have some mother thing going on with them.
Exactly, and not in a weird way.
I mean, we can talk about Mamako if you want.
Good night.
Oh,
No, I'm just kidding.
Mommy Sekai, no.
I'm not going to watch that one.
Yeah, Shadow brings up that most of the parents of Fruits Basket are just horrible people, and it kind of reminds me of like Hina Matsuri, where a lot of the kids in Hina Matsuri are very nice, very very good kids, and then the parents are all like trying to take advantage of the kids and using them, and tell them to get off their lawn.
Yes, I remember that show. I have opinions about it. We're not going to get into those though.
So one of my favorite scenes was in episode 3.
The plum scene?
The plum scene. I love this scene, and Satsuki, I have to ask, what do you think about the plum scene?
I like the scene because, like you guys said with Kyoko, Toru kind of carries the torch when it comes to her wisdom, but the plum scene for me kind of showed like why Toru does things in a Toru way. The way she explains things is you might not get it the first time, but it makes sense later on. That's why I say she has like this wisdom, like this uncanny wisdom. It's not really clear cut, but if you really think about it in Toru's own way, like it makes a lot of sense. So I like that scene. It was insightful.
Yeah, and just something I've noticed, like going back to my notes after seeing it, I see like all the themes that Fruits Basket had going for it were like there from the beginning and like setting the foundations for the parts that we liked in the recent episode. And I agree with Satsuki. That's just like how Toru sees everyone. She sees the good in people that they do not see in themselves.
I think that also helps because she sees things in a certain way where she has a weird way of just observing people and just saying the things that need to be said to like that are one right and not like phony in the moment, but like actually like she's saying stuff that's connecting to these people. She's very 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 good at that stuff, and I think that's one of the reasons why I love the plum scene a lot. Is because I think this is like really the first time we ever saw Toru like actually doing something like Toru would do. Like this is the first time of her being like I guess like quintessential Toru Honda, which is like really great. And
her comment applies to herself too because she does not see like what makes her so great.
Right. It's we've talked about it like I think every freaking episode, but there's a lot of like I don't know, a lot of like for example, Toru in the first episode said she just doesn't want to be a burden to anybody, and that's like a common theme of all these characters really not wanting to be a burden because they're so lonely or because they've been ostracized and cast out.
Yeah, like they all feel alone, so they make themselves even more lonely.
Right, it's just a totally normal thing that happens all the time, sadly. But
yeah, exactly. Like if you feel alone, you really don't feel like you want to interact with anyone, even if that would help.
Right, and I think that this scene, like when Toru says like everybody thinks that they're just the normal rice and the rice ball, but they're always looking at other people's back and seeing the plums in them, but they can't see their own back. They can't see what's special inside of them because they are constantly comparing themselves to other people. And it's hard to like take a moment and like sit down and like really evaluate what's so good about you, because we always get caught up with all this other stuff.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at my notes I took back in episode 3. I don't completely remember the context, but at the beginning they were mentioning a rice ball with 3 different fillings, and that's like really weird. But there's something intriguing about that. In a way, I feel like it represents all these people, how there's so much more to them, so much like chaos within that you don't see at first.
Right. Yeah. I think that's the gist though. Is like, Toru just kind of sees people for who they are, like really like deep down as a person. She just sees them as good people, and I think that's what makes one of the things that makes Toru's character so great.
Yeah, there's a comment. I don't know if she made it or someone else made it, but it's like doubting people is easy. So be someone who believes in them regardless, and that's what helps people.
Right. I think that's like a really important thing as well. Just
that's like what makes Toru so great, and like why she's so inspirational.
Right. I think that advice works in real life. Just be there for a person. Just be there for him. Just because.
Yeah. And like, don't take this like you. At first glance, you might see, oh, they're a bad person because of this reason. But like, don't doubt them so easily. Understand that they are a person. There might be a lot of good to them.
Right. Exactly. You may disagree with the person. You may not like that they don't take showers. But if you're like, hey, guy, girl, if you take a shower, people will be around you more.
Yeah, or it might be just because they don't like a great show, forget what show I was going to bring up. But just because they don't like your favorite show like Dragon Maid does not mean be a bad person and should be thrown into a volcano.
Fortessa says, Kyoko said doubting people is easy and told Toru she should believe in people instead.
Okay, so that's where that came from. I'm going to make a note of that. Thank you, Francesca.
So, now I want to move on to talking about the introductions of Kisa and Hiro, which, looking back, I think are kind of forgotten. So I kind of want to dedicate some time to them.
Yeah, I'm actually making a video on Fruits Basket, and I'm trying to pick out a couple scenes that really stand out, and those 2 are ones I'm going to go with.
Kisa and Hiro?
Yes.
Interesting. Satsuki, what do you think about Kisa and I guess Hiro as well?
I'm pretty sure Kisa, I'm not exactly sure. I think Kisa's episode was before Hana's episode, if I'm correct on that.
Sounds right. I have it in my notes. Please hold.
I just bring that up because I think that was the first time we really seen like bullying to such a extreme degree. But of course, like Hana's was more fleshed out because we actually seen it. But with Kisa, we seen how bad it affected her to the point she didn't want to talk anymore.
Yeah, that was episode 18 was Kisa's, and I think Hana's was like 20 or 21.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. So yeah, that was like the first time we seen bullying on. I don't know if that's the first time we seen bullying period, but yeah, we saw how Toru got her to open up in her own way, of course. And then with Hiro, he probably had like the worst introduction for Soma because he just came off as just an ass. But
yeah,
we kind of got the reason why he was like that. So it was cool.
Yeah, and well, you also had Yuki who helped Kisa open up, which I thought was really interesting. Because that episode was kind of one for him, along with really like showing like who Kisa is.
Kimberly comments, "This is interesting. Love how Hiro's brattiness is used to outright call out Toru's flaws."
Or yeah, that's an interesting comment. In a way, it's like, yeah, I forget what I was saying. Anyway, continue.
I liked Kisa's introduction. So adorable, great, and it's also his first time. I think one of the first times. I think Yuki, or maybe it was some. I know some character we saw a little bit of bullying before then, but for Kisa, it was pretty awesome. And I think like the friendship that Kisa and Toru have is more of like sisterly. It feels definitely like they're sisters, and I really like that. And as for Hiro, I think a lot of people like. Yeah, he does kind of come off as an ass, I guess. But I actually really enjoyed Hiro quite a bit, which is funny because, with Kagura, I was kind of well, I don't know about Rising, but I know from my memory at least, I know for sure I was a little hard on her. But,
yeah, that was like Kagura's introduction was my least favorite episode. I don't know if I feel differently going back to it now, though.
I think Hero's episode kind of goes under the radar just because it's, in the middle of all these other episodes that are really good.
Yeah. Satsuki, what do you think of Hero's episode, or did you say?
I mean, I thought, like, I'm not going to lie, his introduction turned me off from him, but I thought he got a lot better as the episode went along. But like somebody said, with him calling out Toru's flaws, I do think that was needed to some extent, because the people Toru has around her, they like her too much at this point now to call out those flaws, at least to the level of how deep Hiro went, because
Yeah, like, who could call out a person like Toru, like with all the good she is?
Yeah,
I think that's important, though. I think that's important because you don't want to have a situation where Toru is labeled as Miss Perfect, which we know for sure she's not, but you also want to have like a character like, question Toru's motives and question the flaws that Toru has.
Yeah, and
I think that goes both ways.
It's definitely interesting to have a character who doesn't like Toru, at least at first, because like how Toru comes across to someone who doesn't know her, it's like, you make no sense. How can you be like this? You must be a bad person.
Speaking though of bad introductions, I guess we gotta give a moment to Kagura, because initially didn't really enjoy her character, and even when she popped back up throughout the series, didn't even enjoy her then. But at the end, I was kind of changing my tune on her.
I quite enjoyed it when she. Yeah, I liked it quite a bit when she came with that flying kick to Kyo in like episode 25.
I still could have went without that, but I like the part afterwards where she's like holding onto his leg and hugging it and holding it dearly, like it's Kyo himself, but it's really just his leg. I like she uses her talking voice near the end, which that just blew me away. I'll never not bring that up because I didn't know her voice was so distinct. Like, I thought that was like a great moment.
Yeah, I honestly she's like looks like very normal sometimes, and I forgot. Oh wait, that is Kagura.
Yeah. Near the end, she was just like in the episode, acting normally. Satsuki, what did you think about Kagura?
It was nice. Well, as a whole, I think she is probably my least favorite Soma right now. I can't say for sure. Like, I really had to look at Hiro and Kagura and really think about it. But yeah, I think she's a little too extreme. It's not like it's the first time I've seen the whole hitting the guy kind of trope. But yeah, it was cool to see her during the tail end of Fruits Basket kind of act normal. She wasn't extreme. She was just like, we finally got the real Kagura, not the super cutesy one, and not the extremely killer Kagura.
It's like we got her as a person, and not just as like an extreme.
We got the good portion of her. We got the one.
Exactly.
I think this is the one that I wanted. I like that version of Kagura, and
Yeah,
if we see more of that version and those extreme sides of her used sparingly, I think I think I could end up really liking those sides as well.
it's like the added flavor to an interesting character. It does not work as a character in and of itself.
A lot of people are saying that Kagura and Hiro both get better later on, which I do not doubt that one bit for sure.
Yeah, I can definitely see that too. And Hero, even like I like Hero, at least, especially by the end of the episode, since we understood why he was the way he was. It's like he's definitely not perfect, but that's kind of the point.
Francesca says, what I noticed is in Fruits Basket, when you first meet characters, you get their extremes, but as the series goes on, they usually tone down their extremes.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is with all the characters.
Yeah, we can.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, we can already kind of see that with Hatsuhara because he had the whole, the dark Haru where he was kind of acting like Kagura. He would just flip a switch and then act crazy. But he had a normal conversation with Yuki with none of that. So I think a lot of these characters towards the next season are going to be more mellowed out as the story gets a lot more serious.
Yeah, it's like they use the extreme thing to like try to latch us in, and then by the end of it, you like understand more than that. I think in Kagura's case, we did not like get that more than her extreme side at first, and that's what turned us off so much.
Maybe that's kind of needed in a show like this one, because if you show their most maybe their most extreme sides, you can like Rising said and Satsuki basically said is you can latch on to them easier. You can really get attached to these characters quicker, but also you can see their worst and or best sides first.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to put it. Like from Toru at the very start, oh, she's a great person, she's really strong, and then you see like, oh, that's not so good. Whereas like Yuki, you see him as really distant, but then you get to understand why, or Kyo being like violent and crashing through the ceiling. Hi, I like
just need that for
the comment from
Akito
Next
now.
Speed too.
So, moving on to another character I really enjoyed is Ritsu. Ritsu was I don't know, there's something about his character I really enjoy. Satsuki.
Gomenasai. Yes. Ritsu was a funny character to me. He was a lot like Toru in the sense that they both, and I think that they did have like this banter back and forth, kind of, where they both feel like burdens on the company they keep. So that was something that he had to work on, like just understanding that, you're not pestering anybody just by just being present, because he would apologize for every little thing that he would see as an inconvenience to anybody else. So it was kind of like a reflection of Toru, at least with that flaw in herself.
It's like it's like Ritsu is an extreme version of Toru.
Yes.
Where it's like if Toru's flaws are taken to an extreme, she would be like Ritsu. I hadn't thought about it that way. And then later on in the episode, didn't we get a point where like Ritsu said that he had no reason to live, and Toru was saying the same thing about herself? And that we need more Ritsu.
That was when Ritsu was threatening to commit suicide in front of the other Somas. And Toru.
Yeah, that was very. It was like at first I was like, okay, the comedy doesn't work. Oh wait, this isn't comedy anymore.
So yeah, that's the other time that Fruits Basket got really dark. Did this happen after the Hana episodes?
I think it
happened
the one
before.
before.
Okay, so this is the first time that this series got like extra dark. Though this one is kind of hidden. Like it's more subtle, I guess, than Hana's episode,
they
which
snuck
was
up
all
on you
black
with it.
and darkness and purple and yeah.
Yeah, because at first it seemed to be like a goofy episode, and then they like took the suicide thing seriously.
Mm-hmm. I I really like the speech that Toru gave Ritsu. I think this whole episode I think it's a little rough around the edges looking back on it. Like I think it's one of the more what is the word for it? It's a little all over the place. I'll say that.
Right.
In terms of its pacing and how it watches. But I like the speech that Toru gave Ritsu, which was, basically like, yeah, everybody kind of has to find their own reason to live. You don't just have it, and sometimes you lose it, but there's no reason to give up because you probably will find another reason to live. And
Right.
there's no reason to kill yourself over such a thing like that. It's silly because you have so many years left to actually experience life, and it's important that you don't just waste it like that.
Yeah, and that kind of goes back to how Toru lives. She's making the best of the situation as she can, even though it's not perfect.
Right. And I think that's one of Toru's strengths, and I think that's just a lot of people's strength is that they just don't, end it there. They keep going.
In a way, it's like Ritsu is like magnifying Toru's weaknesses, but also shows how Toru has like grown beyond being that type of person.
Yeah, and Francesca even brings up that even when Toru was falling off the roof, she was still giving the speech to Ritsu because because Toru.
That's Toru, yes. Toru is best girl. You can't even argue that one.
Yeah, Toru is just... She really is one of, if not, the best character in this show because she just inspires so much change in all these characters.
Yeah, she makes me want to be a better person.
She does.
Same.
Even Satsuki agrees. I mean, she's an inspiration.
And now if only she turned into a dragon, she'd be a perfect character.
A CGI dragon? I'm sorry. Let's stop doing Fate references.
Exactly. I was only referencing Dragon Maid. We don't reference other random good anime here.
Oh my god, everybody who likes Dragon Maid hates you, Rising.
They will have already if they've seen the podcast.
Satsuki, do you like Dragon Maid?
I've never seen Dragon Maid.
Alright, well.
Satsuki and I are friends.
Oh my god. Rising brought up
Hi.
that the dub is completed. And I have seen a couple episodes of the dub, but if I know some of the people in the chat probably, as Shadow says, yeah, we hate Rising. Oh my god.
It's okay. I'm here to make everyone hate me so they'll subscribe to him and then mail him a banana bread.
People in the chat, Shadow says, let's throw him into a volcano.
Okay, I need to pass that message along to someone Shadow knows.
So the dub is nearing completion, and people from the chat who have watched the dub, put down your hot takes or not hot takes on the dub if you want to. I've seen a lot of clips of the dub, and I've seen the first episode of the dub, and I'll probably watch the thing in dubbed again soon with a certain person named Astro. Yeah, I mean, Rising, what do you think about the dub so far?
Well, when I first started watching it, I think I tried an episode of the dub. I didn't really care for it, so I tried the sub and I liked that more, so I just stuck with the sub for the rest of it. And then I saw a couple of clips in the dub, and it just did not feel right for me. But then I end up I got my brother to watch it, so I rewatched the first episode with him, and I tried the dub and was like, oh, this is pretty good.
Yeah, most people are saying they watched the dub and they liked it.
I feel like it's a show where people like the dub because that's what they're used to from the original version, like seeing myself being like new to it, where we don't have that same attachment to it.
It's funny because I said in my review that I prefer the sub over the dub, and I wonder if that'll change once I finish the dub version of 2019.
Yeah,
because
like maybe the scenes that didn't feel right before, maybe they'll feel better now if once I get like that voice in my head is how they sound.
yeah, I initially it didn't feel right, but as I watched more of the episode, I was like, huh, like this definitely has a certain, I don't know, there's something to it, and I think that's because every single one of these people in the dub, for the most part, even the new additions, are very well seasoned. I mean, Trina Nishimura is Akito. Like that's a crazy addition. Just her in any role really is kind of crazy because she's really good. And then you have like Laura Bailey voicing Toru, which is, I mean, just getting Laura Bailey in an anime these days is kind of crazy in and of itself to even think about. But she sounds great, and she's good as Toru because she's like a legit actor.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of it is like the dub sounds like in like early 2000s dub because it is. And that just feels weird for a modern anime like that.
It's got a lot of voices I recognize from the olden days.
Yeah, it's like I'm watching an anime from 2005. Satsuki, did you try the dub at all?
I have watched one scene on YouTube of the dub, and that scene was when Hana swooped in and stole Yuki's chocolates. That is it.
I mean, that was a good scene.
Hana does
Very
swoop in to take those chocolates.
We need more Hana.
MCC Dub Production says Trina is young Akito, not present Akito. So who is present Akito then?
Crispin Freeman.
Oh.
I just made that up. That's not true. Probably.
Also, Laura Bailey is the one of the main characters in Blue Gender. That was also one of her first roles. I'm fairly.
I need to see that one.
Blue Gender is really good. It's a classic mech anime, but it's actually kind of really good.
Okay, I'm gonna go watch it now. Goodbye.
What? No, you can't leave.
See ya.
Yeah, it's been good having a podcast with you. I'll talk to you later when
Oh,
I'm needing to.
okay. So present Akito is Colleen Clickenbeard, which is hey,
Really?
hey, you
Isn't
can't.
she the one who plays Luffy?
Yes.
I believe so.
Luffy, Gohan. She's playing Han. I forgot her name. Fire Force chick that I love but now hate. Hibana.
Princess Hibana. Yeah. Well. I mean, I'm just gonna say it now. I hate Fire Force. Anybody else want to say it?
I'm glad I dropped Fire Force before I could hate it.
I'm not gonna have the fans on me even more so.
All right, Satsuki saying that Sasuke says the Fire Force is the worst anime ever, even worse than Dragon Maid.
Wait. I can't make that comparison yet.
It's okay. We'll give a hit regardless.
MCC Dub Production says she voices Momo Yayorozu in MHA. I like saying her full name, so I'll always say her full name.
I would not have picked up on that. Interesting. So yeah, the dub, I think it is a good dub. It just will take me longer to get used to than most shows.
Yeah. God, is there anything else that we can talk about? I'm sure there's some. Emoji-san.
Yes, Emoji-san. Best
Real
boy.
quick, Emoji-san. Satsuki, what did you think?
Man, I already talked about it before, but like his introduction, I thought he was going to be this character who was just too, what's the word? He was going to be like too overly affectionate towards like Toru, and I thought that was going to get really annoying because I've seen characters like Momiji, but he was just great. Like anytime he was on screen, he was like this perfect balance of like comedy relief and just wisdom at the same time, because that talk he had with Toru, or no, it wasn't with Toru, it was with Yuki and Kyo present, where he was talking about the story of a girl who kept giving herself up
Oh
to
yeah,
others.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah,
good. Like,
that
yeah,
yeah,
it was like
impressive.
she kept giving away body parts, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. That story was really great, and that's when I really just started to love him. Anytime he showed up.
Yeah, because at first I thought he'd be like this annoying kid who's there for comic relief, but he ended up becoming one of my favorite characters in the show, and that's in a show with these characters.
He's impressive because he's kind of like the best example of a character that just pops up every now and again, and he's kind of like adds to like an episode, even if
Yeah.
he's just there to be there.
He never I'm never sad to see him.
Right, right. And it seems like he's like really good friends with Toru. It's really great.
Yeah, and we get a couple scenes that really focus on him, but every time he shows up, he makes the show better.
Shadow says Emoji-san, the dub, still has the German accent from the original. So
Oh, and Satsuki, we call him Emoji-san here, not Momoji.
Oh God.
I thought it was Momiji.
You're close.
I said it like 8 times in a row perfectly in my review, so I'm just saying.
I called him Emoji-san in my video.
So, the final thing, real quick. My favorite scene or moment in this show is the plum scene. What is your guys' favorite scene or moment?
Oh God. I can't say. I don't think it's my favorite because I can't lie. This question caught me off guard. But one of my favorite scenes in Fruits Basket is literally from the first episode. Is when we get Utani and Hana's introduction, and a Yuki fan club is just pestering Toru. And then out of nowhere, Utani comes and protects Toru, and then Hana just threatens them. And at that point, we didn't really know she'd had powers. We just knew that her presence alone just had them in fear.
I love it.
Yeah.
I forgot the Prince Yuki fan club was even in the first episode until like I rewatched it, and I was like, oh, they're here.
What I love about that is like how it establishes Hana as it's like implied that she has some sort of weird power, but you never know if it's actually real or not until you get the episode with her.
Yeah.
So, Rising, what is your favorite moment or scene?
I think mine would be when Kyoko is carrying Uo home in like her backstory episode.
Oh, that's a great moment.
Yeah, I feel like that was like the biggest emotional punch the entire show had.
Ambrose says, my personal favorite is when Toru turns into a dragon and dumps Kyo into a volcano.
Why would she dump Kyo into a volcano? He's best boy.
So with that being said, we have hit the end of the show. If you haven't already watched my update video that came out hours before this video came out, it's on my channel. If you don't have the bell ringed, you probably didn't see it, so you're definitely gonna have to ring that bell if you haven't already. It's also very important. I address pretty much everything and the way the channel will be moving going forward. With that being said, Satsuki, where can they find you, and what do you even do on YouTube?
I just make random videos. I don't even know what I'm doing at this point. But you can find me on the YouTube, Satsuki the Savage, Twitter, King Daniels Jr.
That's
I plan to make unordinary videos, specifically talking about John, because he is a character for sure. He is an interesting character. But that's all I have planned for right now.
Rising, where can they find you? What do you do?
They can find me on YouTube, where I've been making videos about Fruits Basket because it's a good show. They can find me on Anime Amino, or not Anime Amino, just plain Amino, where I'm covering some of the more recent events in the anime community, like the premiere, Fruits Basket again, and that type of stuff. I also talk about Symphogear with C, and we get completely off topic, even worse than the Fruits Basket podcast, or Twitter, where I post random things when I feel like that's a good idea.
Yes, I have a main channel. On my main channel, I'll talk about all kinds of stuff. From, as the always seemingly dropped in every episode, Fate, I talk about Hunter x Hunter, JoJo, lots of the most popular stuff that people like on the internet. You'll find mostly reviews and analysis and stuff like that there. On this channel, though, I will be covering Fate Grand Order with a couple others starting next week. And when Unordinary returns, I'll also be doing Unordinary videos, competing with Satsuki for the top prize of who's the best Unordinary YouTuber. I think Satsuki wins.
Oh no.
I feel like I should make a video on it too.
Damn it. Then Rising may win.
No, Astro should make a video on it.
So Rising will win.
I take that as a compliment.
Well, I mean, it would be your idea. So, yeah. With that being said, thanks everybody for watching this episode of the Fruits Basket Podcast. We'll be back soon. We'll be talking about some of the episodes from the 2001 anime. It'll happen when it happens, but you'll know for sure because I will make an announcement of when it will be happening. And yeah, of course, we'll return in 2020 for season 2 of the show.
And you should join the Discord where we talk about Fruits Basket and whatever other weird things that happen.
Right. If you haven't joined the Discord, why haven't you joined the Discord? It's the best. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for watching the Fruits Basket Podcast for the 6 months that you stuck with us. I greatly appreciate it.
This is 6 months.
Yeah. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.